When a homeless veteran sits quietly on a frigid New York sidewalk, ignored by the bustling crowds, an unexpected figure steps out of a sleek black SUV, Donald Trump. To the shock of onlookers, the billionaire and president of the United States lowers himself onto the icy curb to hear the veteran's story. What begins as an unusual encounter quickly turns into a life-changing act of compassion that leaves the growing crowd speechless. As the night unfolds, a surprising twist reveals Trump's deeper plans, not just for the veteran but for countless others like him. This heartwarming story of hope, redemption, and second chances will keep you hooked until the unforgettable ending. But before we dive in, leave a comment and let us know where you are watching from today. And if this story speaks to you, hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories. On a cold December evening, the streets of New York City bustled with the usual chaos: car horns, flashing lights, and hurried pedestrians. Among the crowds, a homeless man named Jack Wilson sat quietly on a corner near Fifth Avenue. Jack, a decorated veteran in his late 40s, had seen better days. Once a proud Marine who served 2 tours overseas, he now relied on the generosity of strangers to survive. His neatly folded American flag was the only relic of his past, a reminder of the life he once had. Jack didn't beg or shout for attention. He simply sat with a cardboard sign that read, "Veteran in Need. God bless." Most people passed him by without a glance, their heads buried in their phones. But this night was different. Just as Jack was preparing to settle in for another frigid night, a black SUV pulled up nearby. Out stepped none other than Donald Trump, the larger-than-life business mogul, the 47th president, and constant figure in the media. Dressed in his signature dark overcoat and red tie, Trump's presence was impossible to miss. The street fell into a hush as onlookers stopped to gawk. Was this another publicity stunt? A PR move? Jack looked up, confused but calm. Trump walked straight toward him, his polished shoes clicking against the icy pavement. "Excuse me, sir," Trump said, his voice cutting through the cold air. "May I sit with you for a moment?" Jack was taken aback. Sure," he stammered, shifting slightly to make room on the curb. Trump lowered himself onto the sidewalk, completely ignoring the murmurs and cameras beginning to gather. "What's your name?" he asked, his tone surprisingly gentle. "Jack," the veteran replied, eyeing him cautiously. "Jack Wilson." Trump nodded. "Jack, I want to hear your story. What brought you here?" At first, Jack hesitated. He wasn't sure if this was genuine or just another billionaire trying to look charitable. But something about Trump's demeanor, sharp yet sincere, made him open up. Jack recounted his years in the military, the pride he felt serving his country, and the struggles he faced when he returned. "It's hard to find work when you've spent years at war," he said, his voice cracking slightly. "And when the PTSD kicks in, well, people don't want to deal with someone like me." Trump listened intently, nodding occasionally. He didn't interrupt, didn't offer empty platitudes. For once, the man known for dominating conversations stayed quiet. By the time Jack finished, his hands were trembling, though whether from the cold or emotion, he wasn't sure. Trump reached into his pocket and handed Jack a crisp handkerchief. "You've been through more than most men can handle," he said. "And I'm not just talking about the battlefield." The crowd around them grew, phones snapping pictures and recording videos. But Trump seemed oblivious, his attention fully on Jack. "I've seen a lot of people down on their luck," Trump said. "But you've given so much to this country. It's time someone gave back to you." Jack raised an eyebrow. "What do you mean?" Trump stood up and extended a hand to Jack. "Come with me. Right now." Jack hesitated. He wasn't used to trust coming easily, especially from someone so powerful. But something in Trump's tone, a mix of command and compassion, compelled him to take the outstretched hand. Before Jack knew it, he was inside the luxurious SUV, its heated leather seats a stark contrast to the cold pavement he'd been sitting on moments ago. Trump's team was surprisingly kind, offering Jack food, coffee, and even a warm blanket. But what shocked him most was where they were headed. The vehicle pulled up to Trump Tower, the iconic building that stood as a monument to wealth and success. Jack felt out of place as he stepped inside, but Trump guided him forward. "You need a place to stay," Trump said matter-of-factly. "And I've got just the spot." He led Jack to a lavish suite on one of the upper floors, complete with a king-sized bed, a stocked fridge, and a view of the city that took Jack's breath away. This is too much, Jack stammered, overwhelmed. Nonsense, Trump said. Consider it step one. Over the next few days, Trump didn't just give Jack a place to stay, he gave him a purpose. He arranged for doctors to assess Jack's health, both physical and mental, ensuring he got the care he needed. But Trump wasn't done yet. One morning, he brought Jack to a conference room filled with business executives. "Gentlemen," Trump announced, "this is Jack Wilson, a man who's sacrificed everything for this country. And we're going to make sure his future is as bright as his past." Trump explained that he was starting a new initiative aimed at helping homeless veterans reintegrate into society. "These men and women have fought for our freedom," he said. "It's time we fight for them." Jack couldn't believe what he was hearing. Not only was Trump giving him a second chance, but he was using Jack's story to inspire a larger movement. Weeks turned into months, and Jack's life transformed in ways he never thought possible. He became the face of Trump's new initiative, traveling across the country to speak about his experiences and advocate for other veterans. The program provided housing, job training, and mental health services to hundreds of former soldiers, with Jack as its most passionate ambassador. But the real twist came during a televised event where Trump introduced Jack to a crowd of thousands. Standing on stage, Trump turned to him and said, "Jack, you've inspired me more than you know. And I think it's time the world knows just how remarkable you are." To Jack's shock, Trump handed him a set of keys. "This," Trump said, "is for you." The keys belonged to a small business Trump had purchased in Jack's name, a coffee shop near Times Square. "You've always wanted to run your own business," Trump said with a smile. "Now you can." Jack was speechless. Tears streamed down his face as the crowd erupted in applause. Jack's story didn't end there. He turned the coffee shop into a thriving business that employed other veterans, giving them the same second chance he had been given. His journey from a homeless veteran to a successful entrepreneur became a symbol of hope for countless others. As for Trump, his initiative grew into a nationwide program, helping thousands of veterans rebuild their lives. And while opinions about the man remained divided, one thing was clear: his unexpected act of kindness had changed Jack's life forever. "In the end," Jack often said, "it wasn't about the money or the keys. It was about someone seeing me, really seeing me, and believing I was worth saving." And that, more than anything, was the legacy of that cold December night.